Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, then, I mean, how did you feel about
Frankie Boy?
with John Kramer? Who's Frankie Boy?
Oh, I don't know why I just
Frank
said that.
Kramer? The guy from... You talking about Frank Kramer? You know, the Jigsaw Killer, Frank?
I don't know why I just said that. Clearly, I've only seen one. Yeah. Yes.
Who do you think the Jigsaw Killer is? I think it might be that guy, Frank.
Frankie. Frankie Kramer.
Can you imagine if the big reveal came? Who was the killer? Is Frankie.
Yeah,
What?
not Frank. Frankie.
You know who one of the victims of Leatherface was?
Who?
Franklin.
Okay, that's where my head was at.
All your viewings of Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yeah.
the 1974 classic.
John Kramer, I mean, coming in the 10th movie, yes. Did he ever wear that mask? Was that a mask he wore?
This is Billy the Puppet.
Oh.
You saw Billy the Puppet.
Okay, sorry. So he goes on like
He wears the pig mask, John Kramer.
He wears the pig mask, and so did that other bitch. And
Her name is Amanda.
Sorry, Amanda. And Billy the Puppet. Do you know what I thought? I was like...
I have, honestly, God, I don't have a clue what you thought.
I thought that he had a little kid accomplice.
Riding a unicycle?
Yeah.
Or
Or
a
like
big wheel?
Or no joke, like a little person.
Right.
Like in that, I could see, I mean, the killers are crazy.
They're nuts.
Right. He's clearly nuts. He's clearly not all there. So when I first saw it, I definitely thought that.
Right.
Then I was like,
Who's the little guy on the bike?
who's this dude?
Where do you get that little mask from?
That's literally what I thought. Then I was
Okay.
like, no, it's being controlled by him, right? He had the little remote control.
Theoretically.
What's his name? Billy?
Billy, the puppet,
Not
yeah.
Frankie.
There is nobody in this movie named Frank. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why you said that. Frankie.
Okay.
There's no Frankie.
I didn't
Frankie
feel...
Valli?
I felt weird coming in because I know that he's obviously a very effed up human being, but I felt for him. Like I felt really...
John Kramer.
Yeah.
Well,
I felt really sad for him, even though he does messed up things. Like I was like, gosh, he must be hurting and he's lonely and he looks like shit. Like,
well, that's, I mean, brain cancer.
Oh, he looks horrible.
So, right. So, like, yeah, this is the 10th Saw movie, technically. The 9th one was the Chris Rock one, Spiral, which was, it was like within the Saw universe.
Why was it was Chris Rock in it?
He was the star and the producer of it.
Whoa.
Because he was like, I want to get into horror movies. And so they were like, we have a new Saw movie called Spiral from within the Saw universe. But a lot of Saw fans were like, nope,
Nah.
John Kramer, Traps, that's it.
That is his games.
Top 5 can be top 5.
Okay.
I came for Saw. So, you know, Saw fan, that wasn't their thing. So, but there were people that were like, oh boy, I don't know.
Right.
Because they've already done, they did the final Saw. Then they did a movie called Jigsaw. The final Saw was 7.
It's not that final, though.
This is Saw 10.
Very misleading, yeah.
Or maybe 8 was the final
And
one.
They're definitely not done.
No, it was 7. No, they're not done. They're back. In a big way.
In a
'Cause
big
this
way.
movie ruled.
It ruled. Was it one of your favorites?
Of the Saw franchise?
Yeah?
Yeah, it was easily top 3, if not top 2.
Wow. Is number 1 your favorite?
Probably, yeah. It probably goes 1 to 10.
Okay.
And it drops off quick.
Okay. Yeah. I have like a lot of questions.
Okay.
Like obviously the girl, Amanda, this is her second chance. She played the game.
So
right?
Right. So so Saw came out I don't know.
Eons ago.
20 years ago almost, right?
Yeah.
And it was James Wan's first movie. He became a huge director after that. But basically it was made for no money. It all took place for the most part in one room. There are cut scenes and Danny Glover pops up here and there. But really it was made for very little money. And the whole thing was 2 guys trapped in a room.
Yeah.
They didn't know who put them there. There was a dead body with them. Spoiler alert. They go, I mean, it's like a long time ago.
Okay.
But they go on and on. And then at the very end of the movie, the dead body stands up.
Oh,
He was
never dead.
It was John Kramer. The whole time. And we hadn't met John Kramer yet. We didn't know him. But just the fact that he stands up and we realize the guy that set the traps, the guy that put this all in motion, was in the room with them the whole time. Mind-blowing. And that's when they do the music. Do-do-do, 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 do-do-do.
Yes, I remember it.
Yeah,
I remember it.
I mean, that's like...
That's the music.
Yeah, I got boner when it was like when they played it in Saw 10.
Did you just get one right now when you did it?
It was like half.
Okay, half.
Because it's me doing it. And I knew it was me. I can't displace.
You don't turn yourself on.
Half.
Halfy.
Yeah. So yeah, so then Saw became known for like the traps,
Right.
the gore,
Right.
and the twists.
Twists. A lot of twists and
Needed
turns.
twist.
And there was a lot of twists in this one.
So people end up falling in love with John Kramer as a villain, as happens in all these movies, right? Like you just said.
Yeah.
You want to have relations with Michael Myers.
Yeah, but also there's...
You could give
Yeah.
two shits about Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode got a murderer after her.
Right.
And you're like, boy, I'd love to go to bed with that murderer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's something very... I don't know, he's an old man, right? So there's something like that's like endearing about him. So like even though he's doing these messed up things, he's got like that Dexter effect. Like he's doing it for the good of humanity.
But is he?
Right.
Right.
I think he is.
He seems like he's really taking joy in it, though.
I mean, he's taking joy in it because these guys did some fucked up shit to him.
So you realize like, oh, in the first one, John Kramer had a reason for putting these people in this room.
Right.
And that's the other thing. There's always been this morality about them.
Right.
Right? That like this whole time, he's got reasons for doing it. He doesn't, in his mind, he doesn't kill needlessly.
Right. He's not doing it just for fun.
But he also, from the beginning, had brain cancer.
Yeah, so he's been sick for this long with brain cancer? It would have killed him by now.
He died at the end of Saw 3.
Okay, but he didn't. What happened?
You're like... I just saw him.
I'm pretty sure he was alive and well.
Yeah. He did so much stuff, right?
Yeah.
So he died at the end of Saw 3. Saw 4 through 6, they got a different guy. Saw 7, they got a whole thing. Like, it's yeah. This movie, Saw 10, technically goes all the way back, and it doesn't take place in current day. This movie is actually happening between the occurrences, I believe, of Saw 1 and Saw 2.
Really?
Right. So like Saw 1, this happened. Saw 2, this happened. Then we chill for years and years and years. And they go, oh, we didn't tell you when he went to Mexico? Yeah, that was between Saw 1 and 2. So we go all the way back, which is why John Kramer is still alive.
Got it.
Which is why fans are like, we don't love Saw movies that John Kramer's not in. And he died.
Yeah.
So I do feel like...
So they're forced to go back. They have no other choice.
Yeah, and they may go like, oh no, before he died, he did a ton of stuff. We got more movies.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if they'll find like a young John Kramer, like someone that's not actually him. It'll be a different actor.
I don't think that...
I don't think it'll work?
I'm not interested. I mean, they've tried to replace him with different characters, because that's the other thing. He's always got an apprentice.
Right.
And sometimes the twist is
the apprentice.
The new apprentice. The twist of Saw 2 was Amanda was the apprentice.
So can you tell me what he did or what did she do to have him play the game with her?
She played the game.
What game? Which game was it?
In the very first Saw, there was just a cut scene of like, oh, he's been doing this before. And you saw this woman, and it's a pretty iconic, like if you've seen anything from Saw, you've maybe seen it before. It's the thing with the big head thing with the teeth on that's going to snap the face up.
Yeah.
That was Amanda.
Oh, Amanda.
And so she comes back for Saw 2.
Right.
And like they're running through a house. There's a bunch of people locked up in this house. And Amanda's like, no, I've been through this before. I can't believe he captured me again. I can't believe he's making me go through it again. I can help you guys get through this.
Okay.
And then when it goes, you realize
happy.
It's half. Yeah. You realize Amanda is an apprentice. Okay. That was the big reveal for Saw 2, right?
Okay.
So we already knew, those of us in the Saunaverse.
Right. The Saunaverse, is that a thing?
It is now. Oh my God. I think it should be. We knew that Amanda was an apprentice. And so it was more like when Amanda showed up, even though she was in the trailer, but when Amanda showed up, it was like, oh, cool, Amanda's here.
Yeah.
The wig was one of the worst wigs you could ever see.
And all I was going to say was like, who cut her bangs?
Whoever made that terrible wig.
It's horrible.
It's terrible.
I don't like when anybody does the too short bang. It's like so hipster and it's not attractive.
But can you imagine the position Shawnee Smith is in? They're like, hey, I know like it's been 13 years.
Right.
Can we just pretend you're the age you were 13 years ago? Like for any person.
Wait, is Shawnee Smith Amanda?
That's the actress. Sorry.
Okay, so, right. I mean, she looked young.
She looked great.
I think she looked great.
But that's probably why they made her wear that dumb wig.
Also, is there any, like, do they allude to the idea of John and Amanda ever having sex?
No, of course not.
I don't know. I got like a vibe, like it was kind of like this, like, you know, she's like, he's like a dad, like a paternal figure to her, and she kind of like likes to do him too. I'm just telling you what I.
I'm glad you took that.
Like she has daddy issues, and so he fulfills that role. But then also they.
But sometimes paternal figures are just paternal figures.
No,
not
in my world.
No, it's always the beginning of a porn.
I don't know. It felt very like. It felt very. They had a little something between them. There was
She's the apprentice.
A sexual tension, I felt.
He's got brain cancer. He's got a lot on his plate.
So?
I guess,
the least she could do.
Let's go out happy.
Right?
Right. Okay. Right. So but no, I don't, there's never been any on-screen evidence.
Also, you're laughing at me, but don't act like that does, like, weird shit like that doesn't happen in horror movies. Or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't act like...
I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure there's fan fiction.
Yeah. Okay.
But I can't imagine what would happen if they actually put in the movie.
I don't think it would be like an actual sex scene. I'm just saying alluding to it.
Hey, remember that time we did it?
Correct.
And John Kramer's like, don't bring up bullshit.
Right.
Right. Don't bring that up again.
No.
We're not talking about that. We got 7 people down here in torture traps. Why are you bringing that up?
Not in this Soniverse.
Don't bring it up in the Soniverse. No. Yeah. You're probably onto something there.
Yeah. Well, I always am.
But this is like one of the main things that made this one different was this was the first one that really portrayed John Kramer as the protagonist as opposed to the antagonist.
So the protagonist is like the good guy, the antagonist is the bad guy?
Mm-hmm.
Go, Nicole. You retained information you learned when you were 11.
I feel like you figured that out based on clues around the words.
Yeah, also
without
that.
actually.
Yeah, it helped. It helped.
Right, so it was like every other movie, he's clearly the villain.
Right.
You just understand his motives.
Right.
This is the first one where it's like, no, we're going totally from his perspective.
And maybe that's why I felt for him so much.
Right. I mean, spoiler alert, when he turns out that he doesn't have the scar on his head.
Oh, my God.
But see, that's the difference. Like, you were probably like, oh, I feel so bad for this sad old man. Me, I was like, did you really just fuck with John Kramer?
Yeah,
Are
no.
you stupid?
My heart bled. I almost cried.
I was like, oh, you're in for it.
You're in for it, bitch.
You're in for it. Now, I got 3/4 at that point. I was like, you guys are so dumb.
Oh, dumb and done.
Yeah.
Yes. But wait a minute.
Stupid and dead.
Also, I feel like I freaked when I didn't see the scar.
I got the cup, too.
Okay, cool. What is that guy's name again?
This is Billy.
Billy. Okay, not Frankie. Billy.
Billy.
So, you got that from the movie theater?
I got that.
You got us. That's what that is. That's just a popcorn thing.
Yeah. It was. I mean, I'd taken a second mortgage on the house, but I got it.
Oh my gosh, that is so unnecessary.
There's a lot. I drank all. There's a lot of popcorn.
Yeah, that is pretty. Do you have any snacks left? Oh, that I think is cute.
Billy.
Can I have him? Okay. So then once he realized he didn't have the scar, then I flashed back to the black dude who was in his cancer support group that told him about this whole thing. Is this another spoiler alert? Should I have said that? Spoiler alert. Then I was like, whoa, but he had the scar. Was he in on it the whole time too?
Did you watch the mid-credit scene?
Yeah, I blew it. We walked out and then we ran back in when we heard something.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
that answered that question.
Correct. Yeah. But in the middle of it, that's what I flashed back to.
Which again is why you end up going like, oh, there's more to do here because the gentleman that it was in the mid-credit scene.
Yeah,
that was Hoffman. That was Detective Hoffman.
Ah.
Detective Hoffman was one of John Kramer's proteges after Amanda.
Okay.
And he was the one who became the villain in Saw 4, 5, and 6. But he is a psycho.
Okay.
He really doesn't have that moral compass.
No.
That John Kramer has. Like, right. He's like killing people to make sure he doesn't get caught and doing all kinds of bad stuff.
Okay, these are some of my other questions. So he's an architect and an engineer, John?
Architectural engineer.
Okay, whatever. So he's an architect and engineer. This chair wants me to look at Chris Angel.
That's the Undertaker.
I know. Anyways, so he does that. So these are my questions. How does he last minute find a giant warehouse?
That was the same warehouse they were in. That was where the...
I know, but like, okay.
Yeah. So, answered.
Okay,
go ahead.
Okay, and then find all these things, all the tools for his games. And like also it seems like he's got a very like hardcore set of medical knowledge, right? Because everything's like about the blood and the muscle tissues and like everything.
He's super smart. This is what you need to understand. He's very smart.
It's not just did he go to medical school? He's not just
He's very smart.
That's not the answer.
He's incredibly smart.
It's not just...
He has all kinds of knowledge. And that makes it even sadder. He's got brain cancer. Such a big brain.
Such
So
a
much
great-
knowledge.
So much.
So much knowledge.
I just
And the cancer's eating it all away.
all away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he just happens to have all these tools.
Of course
I mean,
he-
it takes a lot of time to rig those games.
They didn't tell you how long it was. Probably not that long because he's super
No.
good at it.
Oh, he's just great at
Plus,
it.
don't forget he's got his notebook and he's always writing down, oh, this could be a
Good
fun
ideas.
torture device. This could,
Right.
like for me, I got all these things you could talk about on a show.
Right.
Maybe I'll talk about them. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll
Right.
talk about this show. But there's always ideas in this book.
It's also fiction, so like, there's that.
It
right?
is not based on a true story.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you do, well, like, what didn't you like?
And it's not that I didn't like it. I just had questions.
Right.
Like, I
What
didn't.
about the traps themselves?
I do not like those traps. They give me a severe amount of anxiety. Like I told you. I don't find it entertaining. I think you are some sort of perverted, messed up sociopath to enjoy watching those scenes.
Oh, really? Who'd you want to have sex with?
Yeah, Michael Myers.
That was the one. Okay, go ahead.
But like to want to watch that, like
What did you think was going on between Amanda and John Kramer? SEX?
the fuckies. Wait, do you, wait a minute. Do you I hate you. Wait, you made me forget what I was gonna say because I said the fuckies. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Did you ever look away? Like when you're watching, is there ever a point where you're like, ugh, like even if it's instinct? Oh. Do you make that sound?
No, I won't make that sound, but I will
sweating.
Like when you're thinking about these traps.
So much fuckies.
and that too. No, there are moments where I'm like, oh, like this. Like I'll leave it.
But
I'll
you'll
leave it
keep
open.
the eyes open.
Yeah. Oh, this one's open. See this one? See this one? Yeah.
But never full. Your eyes always never fully away.
No.
That's weird.
Did you miss some of it?
Yeah, I mean, I had to look away a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can't.
I mean, like, look, there are other Saw movies where it's like you walk out and you go, well, that was just, I mean, bloodletting.